Oh my god, I'm failing physics. What do I do? I'm gonna screw up. My teacher's gonna kill me. My parents are gonna kill me.
Maybe you should join ASP. They might help.
Absolutely not. Let's go.
Is that?
Newton! Throw an apple! Newton, please help me. I'm so stuck in physics. I don't know what to do. My teacher's making me do 6 examples of your 3 laws. Could you please help me, please?
Okay, so first law is the law of inertia. An object at rest will stay at rest unless a force is exerted upon it. An object in motion will stay in motion unless a force is also exerted upon it.
Holy moly!
I know, right? I'm smart.
So for the first law, imagine you, Violin. You go to the grocery store because your mom yelled at you for drinking all the milk, and in frustration you see the nearest baby on the floor crying. This gave you the idea to kick it.
Oh!
This demonstrates the law of inertia, as the baby would remain at rest until an external force is exerted on it, causing it to go into motion. The force in this case is applied force from Violin's kick. Without this force, the baby would remain at rest. Another example for the second law is when the mother of the baby comes and attacks Violin for kicking her kid. But Violin has way more mass than the mother, as Violin works out every day intensively by eating more than 37 eggs and chugging down 4 liters of milk. This shows how more force is needed in order to affect Violin's acceleration, as she has a larger mass.
Now for the second law, which is for every action, force in nature, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Thank you for teaching me Isaac Newton. Oh, did I mention how there was this one time where one of my friends, Armandeep, actually crashed into me? Yes, Armandeep, don't you remember? You were speeding on a highway and I was using the crosswalk when you crashed into me. However, thanks to violence and intense workout and diet, I became the strongest human in the world. So, when your car hit me, it only slightly impacted me, but your car recoiled heavily. This demonstrates Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. The force that your car exerted on me was met with an equal force I exerted on your car, causing it to bounce back. Did you know? Isaac Newton once said, if I'm attracted to you, you're attracted to me? Really? No.
So unfortunately the sound isn't working, but basically what's happening in the clip is Hun rizzing up Armin, and Hun's riz was so good she leaned on a statue and it fell over. This is the second example for Newton's law.
For the second law, which is force equals mass times acceleration, Juan has to go to a cow farm to grab milk, as Violin got arrested at the store because she kicked the baby, so she couldn't get the milk. Juan now needs to get a bucket in order to get milk from the cow, but little does she know, her evil left side mother-in-law, daughter, backbone, sister, cousin, fourth removed was feeling a little devious, and instead of asking her to come with, she decides to jump into the bucket, which causes the bucket to have more mass. So when Gwen comes out of her room from getting the key, she struggles to carry the bucket because she now has to use more force. This decreases her rate of acceleration as she doesn't notice Erica and continues to carry her out.
Oh, Newton, I have an idea for your third law. Just imagine Armandeep decided to challenge me in a slap battle because she thinks that she loves the earth more than me, even though we both know who has the bigger mass. But anyways, Armin slaps me across the face and I slap her back. And we're both doing this back and forth. This demonstrates your third law of motion, because when Armin's hand applies to the force on my cheek, which is the action, my cheek applies an equal and opposite force back onto Armin's hand, which is the reaction. Similarly, when my hand applies a force on Armin's cheek apply an equal and opposite force back on my hand. In both cases, the forces are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction, perfectly illustrating your law.
That's an amazing example, Violin.
Thanks! Newton's law of motion are important because they help us understand how things move and interact with each other. They explain why objects start moving, stop, or change direction when forces are applied, which is useful for everything from playing sports and designing cars and buildings. Without knowing Newton's law of motion, it would be much harder to predict and explain how things move and interact. Everyday activities like driving, playing sports, or building structures would be just based on trial and error. Rather than a solid understanding on how forces work, this would make it difficult to design safe and efficient machines, vehicles, and buildings, and could possibly lead to more accidents and failures. Also, in the words of Trisha Paytas, thank you, Newton.